Welcome to another episode of Kiss My Assets.
The transparency, the openness, the communication is more than you could expect. I'm sold.
Don't let the fact that you don't know something or don't know enough about something hold you back.
I knew I wanted to invest. What better way to invest than to invest in what I already know that I love, which is real estate.
It was initially the 12% return, but it quickly turned into the people.
So we're back with another episode of Kiss My Assets. Heather, working investor relations, and Bart, who is a very cool kid and director of marketing and the man who signs my paycheck. So we love him very much, Jamison Manwaring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You earn every penny.
That's right. And we're going to talk about articles that I thought were interesting.
Thanks,
and you are
Heather.
held captive. Well, we do. So first, the U.S. housing market, the housing market. I just want you to explain to me very gently and simply what is going on.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is there were a lot of predictions that the housing market nationally was going to tank once interest rates went up.
Yes.
Because as we all know, in the last 18 months, interest rates have more than doubled, which means the cost to buy a house has gone up. I don't know the percent off my top of my head, but it's something like 20% per percent is your monthly payment. So it's a lot higher.
That's too much.
And it hasn't happened. The price of houses has stayed steady. It stayed high. And I think a lot of people are a little baffled by it. But at the end of the day, it means that if you want to buy a house, you got to really want to buy it because the payment's higher.
Yeah, but also sellers just aren't selling. Sellers don't want to sell. It would be
They have gone on strike.
yeah, it would almost be irresponsible to sell your house right now. Especially if you bought it when the mortgage rates were 2 to 3%.
Well, So I did. I got mine at 2 something, and I keep telling people it's going to be my coffin because I will never sell. And no one finds it funny but me.
And that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. But yeah, if you're going to trade out for a new house and you're paying 2% or 3% interest and now you're paying 6.5%, you better really want another new house.
Yeah.
Because your current house, if you just refinanced the same house, your mortgage is going to be way higher. So if you're going to buy a new house, it has to be much better. So there's still some transactions happening, but that's one of the, when you look at the price of housing, it's always about supply and demand. And the supply side of that equation, to your point, is constrained because people are not moving. They're saying, I'm not going to leave my 3% interest rate. I'm not going to leave my 2% interest rate. So the supply has stayed down. And in this article, the Fortune article, something that's really striking is that right now in March of 2023, Realtor.com had 350,000 homes for sale. And that's actually less than it was a year ago. So a year ago, when things were crazy with the housing market, there were 437,000 homes for sale in March 2022. And 3 years prior to that, March of 2019, there were 478,000 homes for sale. So there is not enough supply right now. So even though the cost has gone up because of interest rates, the supply has not come back.
So that's the U.S. as a whole. So then what about Arizona in particular? Because that's really what I care about.
There was an article that my old firm, Goldman Sachs, put out earlier in the year, and they expected that places like Phoenix would have a 25% decline in housing values. And it was a kind of a controversial article. They were trying to, rile things up as they tend to do. But we're not seeing it. We're seeing the same things happen here. And we'll get into some of these numbers a little bit, but we know 100,000 people, actually 110,000 people moved to Maricopa County again last year. And the demand on the other side of this equation, supply, demand, the demand for houses is really strong, and there's not enough supply to meet that demand.
Yeah. One of the quotes from the article that I like is, when consumers aren't at the table to buy a home, they have to live somewhere. So where do they go? They go to rent.
Which is good for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you drive down Central Corridor of Phoenix, if you drive around and especially if you've been here a while, you notice there are a lot of new apartment buildings going up, and that's where a lot of these folks who are moving here end up living.
So I think it goes hand in hand, right? As so many people are moving to to Maricopa County in particular, which is the best county. And we're seeing all these new apartments being built, that the investors are really paying attention to the multifamily market here. They love us. And Jameson, I want you to tell me why they love us, like a love letter.
Yeah,
Let's hear it.
well, it goes back to what we were just saying about supply and demand. And Phoenix continues to be one of those places where people want to own multifamily housing. And when I say people, I mean large institutions who invest for their investors, for their clients, wealthy folks who want to own assets that are generating cash flow. And in the AZ Big Media article that they did an analysis about the multifamily market, they said that multifamily fundamentals ended last year on firm footing. And there are some assets in real estate that aren't doing well right now. Office is one of them. Multifamily is on the other end of the spectrum. You know, what's happening at the office is people aren't coming back to the office like they had pre-pandemic. They're still able to do a hybrid 2 or 3 day work week. And so office in general is 50 to 60% occupied, which is really low for office. Offices need to be 90% occupied.
So when I tell you that I'm working at home in my pajamas from now on, you will understand why. I will include this article.
And that's what people are doing. And when especially when you go in the big cities, LA, New York, Chicago, people are not wanting that long commute on the train when they can do the same stuff at home. There's some tug of war going on there, but what's happening with the offices is they remain empty. Multifamily on the other side is really strong, continues to be strong. And let me qualify really strong. What I mean is the fundamentals are good. And the fundamentals come down to, are there people who want to rent, and how much is there to rent? And in this article as well, AZ Big Media mentioned 277,000 people moved to the city of Phoenix in the last 5 years, which is the second best market for immigrants. So we keep seeing these people move here.
Yeah, and I think initially everyone thought it was because of COVID people were moving here. But no, it's because we have an incredible job market. And AZ Big Media, you know, they have data to back that.
Right. They said they have 33 different ways that they measure employment trends. And when they put all their little fancy numbers together, which I assume it's some kind of spell.
Formula.
Yeah. That's what I meant, a formula, not a spell. Phoenix is still the single best market in their index for overall employment.
Yeah.
Thank goodness, because I work here.
And yeah, they do a spell. If it's, you know, if they're going to be a witch on Halloween, it'd be a spell. It's also known as a formula, an algorithm where they look at a bunch of different factors when it comes to employment. You know, are wages increasing? Yep. Are they hiring? Are the right jobs coming into a market?
We have such a diverse job market, and it's only getting more diverse. We have room for a wide range of people, and they are welcome.
And that continues to drive the fundamentals of the multifamily market here.
Yeah, it's something that you were talking about a little bit ago, how, you know, commercial's not necessarily failing, but it's not doing well.
Office.
Yeah, office. And it's every meeting that we have that's with an agency that's in Chicago, San Diego, New York, LA, primarily all of them in California, everyone's working from home. So it's still Zoom calls, but they're in apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spend most of our time in our office because we're very collaborative and we need to be here.
Yep.
Because we like each other.
And we kind of like each other sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a trend that's definitely here to stay.
So here in Phoenix, in Arizona, as jobs are increasing, all these people are moving here. Maricopa County in particular was the nation's largest growing county. The type of multifamily that's being built, I think, is really interesting, because I think developers and people are looking at what do people want? Where do they want to live? Especially with so many living at home or working from home, that they're looking at quality of life, whole picture, as opposed to just when I lived in New York, it was a place that you just went to sleep at night, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little different now. And I think right now the Valley has some really interesting multifamily projects that are being built.
Yeah, and things kind of have settled post the pandemic now. And we did see a lot of people came here temporarily, lived in Airbnbs, other things, but we're kind of getting to a new normal. Maricopa County again in 2022 with the most net migration.
That means once we get you, we keep you, right?
That tends
That's
to
what
happen
I
too.
liked. Yeah.
Especially if it is, you get a good job and you have a good quality of life. We also always like to point out the biggest loser of the county where most people left, and that's LA County.
And if you are an investor from LA County, we still like you very much, and thank you for investing with us.
Thank you for that footnote
Yeah.
because that's a great
A way
point.
for them to be part of Arizona, even though they're there.
But yeah, this is 2022 census data, and I saw this on a post unrelated to Arizona. It was someone who was talking about how strong the market was. I believe they were in Florida, and they said, this market in Florida came in third. And I looked at their list, and Arizona, Maricopa County was number one. So, as the old saying goes from the great baseball movie, if they build it, if you build it, they will come.
And we always listen to Kevin Costner.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, yeah, he's a profound guy.
And we just flipped it and reversed it, a la Missy Elliott.
Millie Elliott.
Yeah, I meant Missy Elliott. I've lost some street cred right there.
So if you were to reverse it, you would say they will come, so we need to build it.
Right.
Okay.
And so 3 of our very beloved malls are turning into or building on multifamily developments where you never have to leave.
Well, and I need to point out,
Yeah.
Heather grew up here, Bart grew up here.
Yep.
So a little bit partial.
And I know one of the malls was where Heather spent a lot of her teenage years,
Metro
chasing
Center.
boys,
Yes.
writing
there was
notes.
an ice rink and you could get an Orange Julius.
Oh,
Bart
Orange
and I,
Julius, that was
Yeah.
an underrated place. Yeah.
But Bart and I went to very different malls growing up.
Yeah, well, so Bart kind of spent most of his time at Scottsdale Fashion Square.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
Make
that's
your
It's a
own
little bit
assumptions.
different, but I would go to Capstan Coasters.
Yes.
All the
Which-
time.
Okay, this is my age that you're pointing out. It was golf and stuff in the beginning.
Oh, wow.
It's gone through a lot
Yeah.
of
Yeah, you have been here for a
If
while.
I can get an apartment with
Yeah.
the view of Capstan Coasters, I'm in.
perfect.
Well, that's what's going to happen. So you may have noticed on I-17, if you drive I-17, there's a lot of construction going on, and they're building the first overpass for light rail. It's really cool.
Yes.
That's going to
I
connect
drive by it every day.
the West Valley to light rail. And this is for light rail to become more and more effective and more used by more people. It needs to connect more people with where they need to go.
They're bringing them
So
to my neighborhood.
they're bringing it. And this is going to be a great boon for the Metro Center area, which we know has
Yes.
been that area struggled for a while.
It
Yeah.
did.
But it used to be the place to be. But now the light rail will connect. It's an elevated track, the first one in Arizona. You can see some of these if you've ridden trains elsewhere, but it'll be elevated above the freeway, and then it'll have an elevated platform right and drop you off there. And in addition to all of the stuff that's happening, they're going to build 3,000 apartment units there. So they're converting what was this big mall at one point to an outdoor sort of mall with retail and 3,000 apartments.
And this is what I thought. So it's also only a 15-minute drive from the Taiwanese semiconductor manufacturing company. I'm going to use their whole government official name, which is bringing thousands of people and $40 billion, hopefully right to my pocket. That they're not only the light rail coming from one end of the city, but now people coming up from where this is being built. It's also, I didn't know this, the Walmart that's there is the most productive in the state.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did not know that. And so I don't know why I feel like I have
And
any
I
part
think
of that
Walmart's-
accomplishment, but I don't shop there, but yay.
And Walmart's going to stay there, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're
then
not leaving.
they're adding 100,000 square feet of retail, hotel, self-storage. So this is going to be really
I
a
may
big
shop
deal
there
in,
again.
in Central Phoenix. You're going to be back there.
There just won't be any JCPenney's.
And this is kind of one of the trends. We always knew what was going to, or wondered what was going to happen to some of these defunct malls. It's kind of similar to what's happening with the office space right now, where people are going, what do we do with all these empty offices? We saw this with Fiesta Mall in Mesa, Metro Center Mall, PV Mall. And now we're
TV's
starting to
getting
see
fancy.
Yeah.
how some of these things evolve. So that's the next one when we talk about PV Mall.
Okay, 400 luxury units built on top of a Whole Foods, and then there's going to be a Dine-In Harkins movie theater. No, I mean it when you don't ever have to leave.
Yeah.
You could just stay there forever.
You have your apartment there, your gym there, grocery store there, your movie theater there, everything.
Well, and so Lifetime, who's a big kind of luxury gym in the Valley and nationwide, they're doing the first apartment project that they've done, 11-story apartment tower on this property. So to your point, you could live there, and that's in addition to the other regular apartments that aren't Lifetime. You could live there, go to the gym, go to all
And
these
they're having
places.
some kind of beachfront, like rooftop pool.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to travel to California to see the water. You can just go upstairs.
Now,
And
and this is the Lifetime's first one of these. So Lifetime is very good at a luxury gym experience, and I find it interesting they're going to do something in multifamily. From a outside perspective, I think it adds a little uncertainty to the business because Lifetime's a public company now.
Yeah.
Anytime you're really good at one thing and then you try to branch out, a lot of times you can lose focus. We'll see what they end up doing.
do you think they got tired of trying to get people to exercise? And they're like, never mind. Here's a
Well, you know
comfortable
what?
place to lay on the couch.
They probably thought, everyone's working from home anyways. Let's just
Right.
dive into that.
Yeah.
And also, I think they're based in Minnesota, so it just affirms everything that we're talking about in Arizona being a hot market. For them to start, their first luxury apartment complex in Arizona, especially in that area, it tells you that Arizona is doing really well.
Well, I think they're also adding some senior living apartments, which means really they will keep you there till the day you die. They are keeping you forever.
And then the last big mall project that's happening in the valley that has a lot to do with multifamily is at Park Central, and this one's near and dear to me because it's right across the street from where I live. I'm in the Willow District, Thomas and Central.
Give out your address.
And when over the last couple of years, we've seen Park Central really become a different place. It was kind of an industrial healthcare hub, really close to St. Joe's, but they're just finishing the build out of a Starbucks and some other restaurants there, and now they're adding about 1,000 units there. Heather might be able to correct my number, but it's around 1,000. About half of those units are already up.
Wow!
And this is also kind of one of these urban centers where it's the apartment, it's shopping, grocery stores. And in this case, you're also very close to light rail. So it's kind of, it's part of the maturing of the Phoenix area. The Phoenix metro area, we're becoming more of an urban, slowly, but over time it just has to happen because more people move here. There has to be more density, not quite so spread out.
Yeah. Sidewalk cities. You can just walk where you need to go.
And in a lot of ways, it's nice if it's done right. It's a transition for people who've lived here a long time. They don't want that. Some folks don't want that, but I think
Don't be scared. Let it happen.
If these projects are kind of a unique way that Arizona's approaching it.
Yeah.